be going over some more basics in Python. But first, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And if you haven't watched the first video, go ahead and do that now before continuing. So today we're going to be learning about dictionaries, lists, sets, and functions. Let's get started. So we'll start with dictionaries. To define a dictionary, you put it into a variable and set the variable equal to curly braces, and then put in your data. I'll do year, and its value should be 3, and then I'll do month whose value should be 2. Make sure you don't have any duplicates in your dictionary, otherwise it will delete those automatically. Now let's figure out how to access values. So we can use the print addict.get year. This should print 3. Or you can print addict and then index year, and it should also print 3. Okay, now let's add some items. Okay, we can add an item to our dictionary by using addict index something new and should equal something. Now we'll try by printing out our dictionary to see if anything happened. See, now we have our new section called something. This is great. Now that we know how to add to dictionaries, we can do so much. But first, we should learn about the .keys method. It accesses the second value, like 3 and 2. So we'll say addict keys should equal the list value of addict.keys. And then we can print addict keys indexing the first value. And it should return year, as it does here. You can also do 1 to return month, or 2 to return something, because of the new one we added. Okay, great. Now let's learn about the update method. Addict.update, and then curly braces. And so I want to set year to 2020. So I can do this. And now let's print our dictionary, and it should show that year's value is now 2020. Note that if the item that you're updating is not found in your dictionary, it will automatically create a new one. Okay, now let's learn about the .pop method. Addict.pop means that we're popping something out of there. So we'll pop the month value. And we'll print that to the console. And it gives us 2, because that's what this is. Okay, that's all for dictionaries. Now we can move on to lists. Lists are the easiest data type in Python. We'll create a variable called a list and set it to a pair of brackets. Then you can put anything you want in. We'll put numbers, you can put these, you can put booleans, you can even put more dictionaries. This means an empty dictionary. And now we'll print a list. A string, putting str will convert everything into a list. Okay, see, it printed everything within our list. We can add things to our list by saying a list.append hi, and then we'll print a list out again. And now, as you can see, hi's added on. We can use the .pop method, which alone will pop the last thing in the list. Or we can use the .remove 3. It'll remove the string 3. So now, as you can see, there's no 3 in our list anymore. Those are some of the basics. You can even add lists together. So we'll print the string value of a list plus new list, which should put everything together into a list. Great. Now we'll move on to sets. Sets are a lot like lists, but they are unordered, so you can't index them. But you can loop through them. And they have a different call. So we'll say a set should equal the set value of an array of 1. We'll just add 4 numbers, those 4 numbers into our set, and then we can print it. And then we can add by using the .add method. We'll add 5. Now it's added 5 to our set. We can also use some other common methods like the remove method. You have to pass in the value you want to remove, so I'll put 2. Oh, and note that if it doesn't find the value you want to remove in your set, it will raise an error. So then there's a method called .discard. If you use that instead, it will not raise an error. It will just do nothing. As we can see here, I'll put in 6. And there is no error. Okay, now let's learn about union and intersection. I'll create another set called otherSet, which has a few of the same numbers. Since there's 2 4s and 2 6s, the set will automatically get rid of 1 4 and 1 6, since it is unordered and there cannot be any repeats. Okay, we'll do print a set.union otherSet. This will print all the values. This will print a list value of the 2 sets put together. As you can see here, and it takes out any repeats. Or we can do print a set.intersection of otherSet, and it'll print out the numbers that overlap in both lists or sets. And see, those 2 numbers are 2 and 4. Those are great for learning about how sets interact with each other. Now we'll learn about the .clear method and the .pop method. As you can suggest, .clear can, as you probably guessed, clears the set and just gets. So now when you print otherSet, it should be empty. So it just returns set. Okay, and the dot pop method, as we saw earlier, or not, just takes a value. But you can't give in a value for it to specifically take because, as I said, lists are unordered and cannot be indexed. So it'll just randomly get a number. That's it for sets. Now let's move on to functions, the hardest part. Functions are a piece of code, kind of like code snippets, that you can call So we'll make a function called function that doesn't take any parameters. And then this function will print, this is a function. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of our other code so that it doesn't keep printing. But for this function to work, you have to call it like this. And then if you run your code, it should print, this is a function. Okay, functions can also take in parameters, which can then be used as variables. So I'll say a parameter is thing. Should be a parameter. And then we can say print the string value of thing. So it'll return what you put in. So here we'll make thing 4. Okay, so that is how you define a function. We'll discuss about more advanced function things like recursion and returning in another video. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and don't forget to subscribe.